What's up everyone, I'm J-Semp and we are back here with another art video today. So today, we're doing another Mythos creature in this sketchbook that I've dedicated to purely doing these fantastical creatures. Without further ado, let's just get into it. So for this piece, I decided that I wanted to have two face angles of the same creature just to give a better understanding to the viewer of, what this creature looks like. And so I wasn't exactly sure what I wanted to do, but I wanted to give it a more brooding look. So I'm messing around with horns and tusks and all of that, and really developing different face shapes. And I finally settled on this kind of oval-esque shape that's almost like a crescent. And so on the other side for the profile view, which is why I'm glad I did the profile view, you can see the actual shape of it. And this is why I do the different views, because if you're just to see the front view, you wouldn't get that sense of that crescent shape. And so I basically have this crystal that is in between a string on the two horns, and I'm doing a zoomed in version of that as well as a zoomed in version of the eye. So the story behind this creature is that it's a shapeshifter, and I'm going to be calling it the creature of the Crescent. And basically it's able to see and find mystical objects by looking through this crystal. And the reason why it has these tusks that are jutting out from its mouth and going over its eye is because it helps pinpoint these specific things. And so I'm coming in with shading, which I didn't do last time, and I'm thinking that throughout this book I'm going to be doing different styles. So some of it's going to be line work, some of it's going to be detailed shading, but I knew I wanted to do shading for this one because I wanted to give the sense that the horns on the top and bottom of the head were glowing. Because I wanted it to be kind of like, like a moon. And I also wanted to look like the eyes were glowing. And while I was doing that, I thought, well, why not add a little bit of purple to the crystal? So basically I have the crystal, it's hard to see now, but I have the crystal being purple, and I'm going to come in later with the bigger zoomed in version and make that also purple. And I have this ring around it that kind of looks like a spell, and I have it in these symbols, which I like to call the Mythos Codex. And they're not quite yet actually translated into an actual language, but I'm going to deal with that later. Okay, give me some time. But I think it's cool to have, a separate kind of symbolism language for these creatures. And you can see now that I'm calling it the creature of the Crescent. And the tusks, I went between making them glowing as well, but I decided to make them a very dark black, almost like obsidian. And that was to help contrast with the rest of the face. And you can see I am adding all of the different texts around it, basically explaining everything that I've been explaining to you. And the thing is that on the crescent moon, they are only allowed to use their powers when it's the crescent moon. So that's why I call them creatures of the Crescent, because they can only use their powers when they're shapeshifted into their form. And so a lot of the other creatures of the mythos go to them if they're trying to find something of value, personal value, or mystical value, and they are the best hunters in the land for this type of thing. But I always have fun kind of creating the lore behind it. I had a lot of fun really developing this page from a graphic design standpoint, because I got to do some shading and stuff like that. But all around, I had a really great time creating this piece, and right now I'm going to cut to a montage. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that video. I had a great time taking you through my process. It's really fun with these creatures because I really go into it without any idea of what I'm gonna do. So you get to see what goes on in this mind of mine. So hopefully you learned something from that, and hopefully you can take away something from that process and apply it to your own. But as always, thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing. Generally tap that like button, and deuces.